Okay, everyone, now we're going to page 165. Page 165. Okay. But that bellhop had given him an idea. Remember, he went to the casino and the guy was like, listen here, they're going to beat you up, they're going to hit you because they know that you're stealing money in the casino. He's like, oh my word, what am I going to do? And he put on the bellhop's clothes and he ran out, right? In Los Angeles and in the nearby Hollywood, did I say page 165? 165. In Los Angeles and the nearby Hollywood and Beverly Hills, we are all the film people, where all the film people live. Let me just write the page for you, 165. Henry sought out the very best makeup man in the business. So someone who can do makeup and maybe make him look different. This man was Max Engelman. Henry called him. He liked him immediately, straight away. How much do you earn? Henry asked him. Oh, about $40,000 a year, Max told him. I'll give you $100,000, Henry said, if you will come with me and be my makeup artist. What's the big idea? Max asked. I will tell you, Henry said, and he did. Max was only the second person Henry had told. John Winston was the first. And when Henry showed Max how he could read the card, Max was flabbergasted. He was shocked. He was like, right? Great heavens, man, he cried. How you could make a fortune. A fortune means a lot of money. I already have, Henry told him. I've made 10 fortunes, but I want to make 10 more. He told Max about the orphanages. With John Winston's help, he had already set up 7 of them in 7 different countries. Max was a small, dark-skinned man who had escaped from Vienna when the Nazis went in. Nazis are from Germany, right? And they killed all Jews in the Second World War. He had never married. He had no ties. He became wildly enthusiastic, so he was excited about it. It's crazy, he cried. It's the craziest thing I've heard in my life. I'll join you, man. Let's go. From then on, Max Engelman traveled everywhere with Henry and carried him in the trunk such an assortment of wigs, false beards, sideburns, mustaches, and makeup materials as you have ever seen. So wigs are hair that you can put on, right? Beards, hair here. Sideburns, you know, guys have sideburns here. And mustaches. Okay. He could turn his master into any one of 30 or 40 unrecognizable people. So if people see him, they wouldn't know who he is. And the casino managers, who were all watching for Henry now, never once saw him again as Mr. Henry Sugar. As a matter of fact, only a year after the Las Vegas episode, Henry and Max actually went back to the dangerous city. And on a warm, starry night, Henry took a cool $80,000 from the first of the big casinos he had visited before. He went disguised as an elderly Brazilian diplomat. So disguise means you dress up like something else or someone else so that they don't see who you are. And elderly means it's older. Diplomat, someone like important or rich. And they never knew what hit them. Now that Henry no longer appeared as himself in the casinos, there were, of course, a number of other details that had to be taken care of, such as false identity cards and passports. In Monte Carlo, for example, A visitor must always show his passport before being allowed to enter the casino. Henry visited Monte Carlo 11 more times with Mac's assistance. Help. Assistance means help, right? Every time with a different passport and in a different disguise. Max adored the work. He loved the work. He loved creating new characters for Henry. I have an entirely fresh one for you today. New one, fresh one, he would announce. Just wait till you see it. Today you will be an Arab sheikh from Kuwait. And we have an Arab passport, Henry would ask. And Arab papers. We have everything, Max would answer. John Winston has sent me a lovely passport in the name of His Royal Highness, Sheikh Abu bin Bey. Okay, Sheikh is like a prince. And so it went on. Over the years, Max and Henry became brothers. Through the skies, milking the casinos of the world and sending money straight back to John Winston in Switzerland, where the company known as Orphanages SA grew richer and richer. So they got more money, more money, more money, more money. Henry died last year at the age of 63. His work completed. He had been at it for just 20 years. His personal reference book listed 371 major casinos in 21 different countries or islands. He had visited them all many times, and he had never lost. According to John Winston's account, he had made altogether 144 million pounds. He left 21 well-established, well-run orphanages scattered around the world, one in each country he visited. Okay, well-established means it's good businesses. They're not struggling. It's good. All these were administered and financed from Lausanne by John himself. So Lausanne is just a country or a place, right? But how do I, who am neither Max Engelman or John Winston, happen to know all of this? And how did I come to write the story in the first place? I will tell you. Soon after Henry's death, John Winston telephoned me from Switzerland. He introduced himself simply as the head of the company, calling itself Orphanages SA, and asked me if I would come to Lausanne to see him with a view to writing a brief history of the organization. I don't know how he got hold of my name. He probably had a list of writers and stuck a pin into it. He would pay me, he said, and he added, a remarkable man has died recently, amazing. His name was Henry Sugar. I think people ought to know a bit about what he has done. In my ignorance means you don't know what you're talking about, or you don't know you don't know. I asked whether the story was really interesting enough to merit being put on paper. So is it good enough for me to write it down? Not knowing, right, what the story is. All right, said the man, who now controlled 144 million pounds. Forget it. I'll ask someone else. There's plenty of writers around. That needled me. That bothered me, right? No, I said. Wait. Could you at least tell me who this Henry Sugar was and what he did? I've never heard of him. In 5 minutes on the phone, John Winston told me something about Henry Sugar's secret career. It was secret no longer. Henry was dead and would never gamble again. I listened, enthralled. Okay, so intrigued, like, one word, tell me more. I'll be on the next plane, I said. Thank you, John Winston said. I would appreciate that. In Lausanne, I met John Winston, now over 70, and also Max Engelman, who was about the same age. They were both still shattered by Henry's death. Shattered, they were sad about Henry's death. Max even more so than John Winston, for Max had been beside him constantly for over 13 years. I loved him, Max said, a shadow falling over his face. He was a great man. He never thought about himself. He kept a penny of the money he won, except what he needed to travel and eat. Listen once. We were in Biarritz, and he had just been to the bank and given himself 500,000 francs to send home to John. It was lunchtime. We went to the place and had a simple lunch, an omelette, and a bottle of wine. And when the bill came, Henry hadn't got anything to pay it with. I hadn't either. He was a lovely man. John Winston told me everything he knew. He showed me the original dark blue notebook written by Dr. John Cartwright in Bombay in 1934 about Imran Khan, and I copied it out word for word. Henry always carried it with him, John Winston said. In the end, he knew the whole thing by heart. Means he didn't have to read it. He could say it just like that. That's how many times he has read it. He showed me the account books of orphanages SA, with Henry's winnings reported in them day by day over 20 years, in a truly staggering sight they were. Amazing sight, right? When he had finished, I said to him, "There's a big gap in the story, Mr. Winston. You've told me almost nothing about Henry's travels and about his adventures in the casinos of the world." "That's Max's story," John Winston says. "Max knows all about it because he was with him. But he says he wants to have a shot at writing it himself. He's already started." "Then why not let Max write the whole thing?" I asked. "He doesn't want to," John Winston said. Okay, let's stop there for today. Okay. Good job, everyone. Please remember to do your task and your spelling homework. Okay. Tell me about something fun that you did today and take a video, send it to Teacher Jimmy. Okay. Good job, everyone.